Hello again, friends. I'm Mr. Honeybun for those of you who might be new to our channel. As you can see here, I'm having more difficulty moving around. Mama says I probably have what her one previous rat, Mr. Jingle, had. Mama can't recall what the vet called it, but basically I have what would be called HLD or hind leg degeneration, though Mama swears the vet called it something else. I don't want anyone feeling bad for me, because I am still doing very well. And even though my issues have somehow worsened to this degree super fast, I am still running right over to my door to greet Mama, especially when it is time for food. As you can see here, I am still active, but yes, unfortunately, I do need to take many more tests now. My symptoms kind of just poof appeared out of nowhere, though. It has been quite some time since I first started feeling more nervous about my balancing. I've had more porphyrin on my nose, and every now and again, I'll have a tiny crusty like in the corner of my eye. Also, I have a tiny pimple now on my right eyebrow area. Nobody better laugh at me for having a pimple, since I have been grooming myself less due to my not wishing to bounce around like I used to. Mama and I had originally thought that the porphyrin showing more on my nose was probably just due to me not being able to keep up with my grooming as well. But we see we were wrong about that. I suppose we were just wishful thinking. So the porphyrin showing on my nose a little more often is actually probably from the extra stress I have from having to work a bit harder to move around. If you've been paying attention to any of my adventures in shorts these past 2 weeks, you probably have already noticed these symptoms of mine. Since I've had a lot of stuff to deal with this past week, I didn't get to go on my Easter adventure yet as we had planned, so my apologies. But I think I should be able to have my excellent Easter adventure in the next couple days, so by next Wednesday I should be ready to share. I've been getting extra attention and love lately, so believe me when I say I am one happy dude. Mama has been giving me different special treats to ensure I'm getting extra nutrients. I've been such a good boy because I've been finishing my whole daily Oxbow multivitamin every morning for weeks now. Before, I'd sometimes finish it all, sometimes only a little bit, other times about half, or occasionally a bit more than half, depended on my mood, I guess. But Mama has been giving me all kinds of praise because I've been finishing the whole thing for weeks now. I love being praised. Feels good. Mama says when the recovery food shows up, I'll have to be a good boy and eat that too. Because even though I am eating all of my regular foods just fine, and thank God for that, by the way, Mama is doing everything she can to ensure I don't lose any nutrient, and she wants me to get extra because it'll help. As you can see here, I have no trouble becoming excited for my yummy yums and enjoying them. Last week when Mama checked my teeth, she said they looked really good as always, which goes to show how I have no problem with munching on all my favorites. Mama was impressed with how much I chewed up my candy chew from Valentine's Day, and most of my dental chews are never seen again. So I'm still enjoying all my goodies. Mama and I are very grateful. Sure, I'm getting older and having some struggles, but we like to look on bright side, and the bright side is I'm enjoying my life to the fullest, even if others don't always think so. Mama says when Mr. Jingle had his back leg issues, he couldn't use them at all, but he, too, did a great job at shuffling around. I can use my feet and move my back leg somewhat, but I don't seem to too often. I pushed my back legs off of Mama's hand when she was holding me and asking me if I could still use them though, so that's a good sign. It's been a long time since I fully trusted myself on my hammocks and ramps. A couple weeks ago I finally told Mama I was no longer comfortable going down my ramps, though I was more comfortable with going up. Going down just became a bit nerve-wracking. Since I'm a big boy, I have been feeling nervous about balancing myself on Mama's arm like I used to for months now. And if you recall from my adventure a couple weeks ago, I revealed that I would now be living strictly on the lowest deck of my mansion. Mama took notice immediately that I had moved myself downstairs, and she quickly moved all of my essentials for me. A few days ago, Mama finally just removed my ramps. Since I completely stopped traveling up or down them, there is just no point in having the ramps attached, since I'm not using them, and if I did attempt to try them again and if Mama weren't there, then I might just end up hurting myself. So it's just best for them to be out of my way. Really, they were just in my way anyway, so I'm glad they're no longer in my way. Mama has been fully cleaning my house every day now too, which has made a huge difference with the excess porphyrin on my nose. Seeing porphyrin on your rat's nose or sometimes eyes is not really abnormal because this is something we naturally produce. However, seeing it more than just once in a blue moon is worth getting checked out. Of course, anything is always worth getting checked out. Because as Mama always says, it's always best to be safer rather than sorry. So anyway, yes, I'm not grooming myself as well as I used to because of my age. So seeing more porphyrin on my nose is kind of expected. Especially because the stress of not being able to move around as easily will create excess. Porphyrin, though, there are some more serious issues that could develop due to age and stress. Unless you are a vet and have a home veterinarian clinic, you can't test for anything, which is why it's always best to take a trip to the vet. How often do you clean your rat's home? Do you do daily spot cleans? Leave me a comment. Mama has always done daily spot cleans for all of us. And those of us using blankets usually have at least one blanket removed daily. But Mama usually only does full cleanings once a week for each of us. We all have our own nights and each week on our day. We have everything wiped down and changed. Mama has been doing full cleanings for me daily now. Because with me not being able to move around as much, my house can use more help on a daily basis. Even if your rat's blankets don't feel wet, that doesn't necessarily mean your rat hasn't peed on them. How well blankets absorb depends on the fabric. So some fabrics may trick you. Mama says for her rats she's usually been able to tell by checking if the blanket's texture has changed any, or sometimes they'll become sticky like. One thing that can cause a rat to produce extra porphyrin is a dirty cage and or a dusty living area. This is why Mama started doing full cleanings for me every day, because she was afraid my house wasn't as clean as it would usually look. This seems to be helping me too, because I've been showing less porphyrin now. I'm still using my potty, but I don't get to use it as often since it can be a real annoyance to have to move from my comfy resting spot, so my blankets do need more daily care. By the way, as I mentioned, I'm not using my hammocks anymore, but as you can see, I have one hanging. Mama put it lower, safe level, for me in case I wanted to try it. But it's basically just acting as a drape to give me more of a cozy feel in my cozy corner. Well, until next week, friends, and no worries. My struggles won't roll me. Talk soon.
Thank you for joining Mr. Honeybun today. Please show him some love and support by clicking like, share, comment, and subscribe now. See you next week.